Everyone has stories and experiences that they've experienced in their life. I think it's important that we start being authentic and being real about those experiences because you never know who you may run into or encounter that might need the encouragement of hearing your story and how you made it through. I know sometimes it's not easy to talk about those places or those deep, darkened secrets that we have, but whenever we are able to open up about those things, it makes it easier for us to become stronger and more confident. When we keep things hidden and in the dark, it's so much easier for people and even the enemy to come at us with those things. Because you know how they say like what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. Well, if it's going to come to the light anyway, wouldn't you rather it be your story and, the truth of the story and not somebody else's perception of the story? So, I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys just about a couple of things that I'd gone through. First, I'm going to start with just a relationship that I was in prior to meeting my husband. Um, and some people may know this story, other people may not. But before I met my husband, I was in a relationship with a guy, and I know I'm just the type of person who's like, hey, like, let's be smart about how we're doing this. Like, we're already over at each other's house all the time anyway. I have a bigger place. Just move in with me, and we'll just call it gravy, right? We think we want to get married. Like, in my head, I'm all for it. I'm like, yeah, shoot, I want to get married. Can move you in, blah, blah, blah. But obviously, this is what I want and not necessarily what God wants for me. So I end up having this guy move in with me, and things are all fine at first. But granted, there was some red flags that I definitely ignored. Like, how many of you guys can legit say that you ignore red flags? It's like you see them, the person kind of like they show you their true self, and you're like, oh no, this is a one time occurrence. If somebody shows you their true self, run, run. Like yelling, screaming, being mad, like walked out of my front door, slammed the door, calling me all types of names and whatever. But of course, in my head, I'm like, shoot, I just found this person and I don't want to lose this person. And so it's like, oh no, it's only gonna happen once. It's not gonna happen again. But in reality, no, it's gonna happen again because people don't when people act out under stress, you will find out the true intentions or the true heart of somebody, especially in a high like situation. Whenever like things are frustrated, that's whenever you truly see how people truly are. And granted, there is always room for change, but their reaction towards you in that situation says that there's something that they're hiding or something that they need to work on. And for you at that time, that means that you need to remove yourself from that situation until they take those steps to get things fixed. I'm sorry and it'll never happen again is not good enough. But in I'm sorry, let me get some space. I need to speak to a counselor so I can get some stuff worked out in my life. Now that sounds like a person who is trying to do something different. But just an I'm sorry, it'll never happen again. I love you. I would never do this to you. Yeah, no, that's just step one of keeping you reeled in. So, granted, I'm with this person and I'm over here thinking, okay, it was just, this, it's my fault. I shouldn't have said this way. So it's okay. But no, it wasn't okay because now the door is open for that person to continue to keep doing different things like that to me to the point that we're in public and squeezing my hand to the point that I felt like my fingers were going to break while we were in public. Just different things like that. Choking me inside of my car while my son is right there because I supposedly looked at somebody. You can tell when people have controlling natures, and when people are too controlling, that is a problem and it is a red flag. At that moment, that means you need to get out of that situation. Don't stay in that situation because that situation is only going to keep escalating. Like red flags are one of the most important things that we tend to often try to disregard because we don't want to be alone, or we finally got comfortable, or we finally think we found somebody. Look, let me tell you something. It's not okay to stay in those places. Just because you think you found somebody, more or less, that somebody that you think you found is keeping you and blocking you from your true blessing. Because When I finally removed this person from my life, I found my husband. Even in the process of that person being around, like I ended up finding my husband. And it's funny how God will put people in your life and cause situations to happen just for you to run into what's supposed to be your blessing. So I just want to encourage you, like, don't get caught up in those situations. Like, don't stay in those situations. Don't stay in those environments, because all it does is cause hurt and pain and more things that you have to dig up later on and work through. If you feel something is wrong, find somebody that you trust and talk to them about it. If you feel like you need to speak to a counselor, go to counseling, but don't let those things just stay bottled up inside of you, because your story is important and somebody needs to hear your story. They need to hear how you got out, and they need to hear that that's not the end. Because in those situations, and I know firsthand, it feels like it's the end. Like there's nothing else you can do from there, that nobody else is going to take you, but that's not the truth. It's a trick of the enemy to keep you stuck in a place and keep you from moving forward. So again, I just want to encourage you, don't get caught up in those situations. Love yourself. Self love is the most important thing that you have. And nobody, hear me, nobody can love you more than you love yourself. So stay encouraged, stay loved, and create the life that you want to live. Don't let anything stop you or hindering you from being that authentic person, from being open and sharing your story, and just being able to help somebody else who may be going through the same thing. I love you, and thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my page if you haven't already, and I will see you again next time.